I, 32M, just found out my wife, 31F, has been hiding a huge part of her past from me, and now our entire marriage feels like a lie. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I'm living in some kind of twisted nightmare, and I don't know how to get out. My wife, Lily, and I have been married for 5 years, together for 7. We have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter, and until recently, I would have told you that we had the perfect life. I thought I knew everything about Lily, her quirks, her history, her fears, everything. Turns out I was wrong. It all started 2 months ago. Lily got a call late at night, and I could tell something was off. She answered the phone in the living room, speaking in a hushed voice. It wasn't the first time I'd noticed her acting strange when her phone rang, but this time it felt different. I asked her about it, and she brushed it off, saying it was just a work call. But my gut told me something wasn't right. A couple of days later, she got another mysterious call while we were at dinner. She excused herself to the bathroom, and this time I decided to check her phone. I know, privacy and all that. But my curiosity and suspicion got the better of me. The number was unlisted, and there was no name saved. I didn't press her about it because I didn't want to start an argument, but I felt a growing pit in my stomach. Fast forward a few weeks. Lily started getting more distant. She was always on edge, barely engaging with me or our daughter. She started working late more often, claiming that she had deadlines to meet. But here's the thing, I know her job. She's a graphic designer, and while there are occasional busy seasons, this level of intensity was unusual for her. I tried to be supportive, asking if she needed help or if something was bothering her, but she always responded with the same line. Everything's fine. I'm just stressed. But I wasn't buying it. One night, I noticed she had left her laptop open on the kitchen counter while she went to put our daughter to bed. I don't know what I was expecting to find, but something in me just needed to know what was going on. I saw an email notification pop up, nothing out of the ordinary, but what caught my eye was the folder labeled Old Stuff in her documents. I know, it sounds ridiculous that something as innocuous as a folder would catch my attention, but the name seemed odd, almost like it was meant to be overlooked. I clicked on it. My heart was pounding in my chest as I scrolled through what looked like a collection of old emails, pictures, and documents. And then I saw it, a file titled Wedding Plans. At first, I thought it was from our wedding, so I opened it. But it wasn't. It was from 7 years ago, before we even met. The document detailed a wedding between Lily and someone named Andrew. My mind started racing. I knew Lily had had a serious relationship before we met, but she had never mentioned anything about almost getting married. As I dug deeper, I found emails and chats between her and this guy, talking about wedding venues, guest lists, and honeymoon plans. It was as if I'd stumbled upon a version of her life I knew nothing about. I felt sick. This wasn't just some casual fling from her past. She was in love with this guy and was planning to spend her life with him. And the craziest part? The messages stopped abruptly, like they had just vanished from each other's lives. There was no breakup message, no explanation. It was like one day they were planning a future together, and the next, nothing. When Lily came back downstairs, I confronted her. At first, she denied everything, saying that it was just a past relationship and that it didn't mean anything now. But I could see the panic in her eyes. I pushed harder, asking her why she had hidden something so huge from me, and that's when she broke down. She told me the story of Andrew. They had been together for 5 years, living together and planning to get married. But right before the wedding, something happened. He just left, vanished. No explanation, no closure. Lily was devastated. For months, she tried to get in touch with him, but he had cut off all contact. It took her years to recover, and just when she thought she'd moved on, she met me. But here's the kicker. Andrew came back. A few months ago, Andrew found Lily on social media and reached out. He apologized for disappearing and said he was going through some kind of personal crisis back then, which is why he left. He claimed that he was still in love with her and wanted to talk. That's who had been calling her all those times, and she had been talking to him behind my back. I felt like my entire world had collapsed. Here I was, thinking we had this amazing marriage, only to find out that the man who broke her heart had come back, and she was secretly entertaining his messages. She swore up and down that she didn't have feelings for him anymore, that she loved me and wanted to be with me. But how could I believe that, after everything I just found out? I demanded to know why she didn't tell me about him sooner. Why hide it? She said she was scared. Scared that I would overreact, scared that I wouldn't trust her anymore, scared that Andrew's reappearance would ruin what we had. Well, guess what? It did. Now, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to believe her, that she really has moved on and that this was just a massive, painful part of her past that she didn't know how to handle. But another part of me feels betrayed. How can I ever trust her again, knowing that she hid something so huge from me? Knowing that the man who left her is back in her life, even if it's just through texts and calls? I don't want to break up our family over this, but I can't shake the feeling that maybe I'm just her second choice. That if Andrew hadn't left, I wouldn't even be in the picture. And that thought is eating me alive. I, 29M, think my girlfriend, 27F, is still in love with her ex, and I don't know what to do. Okay, this is a long story, so buckle in. My girlfriend Sarah and I have been together for 3 years. We met through mutual friends and instantly clicked. She's smart, funny, and kind. We moved in together a year ago, and everything has been going pretty well. At least, I thought so. The issue is her ex, Matt. They dated for 5 years, from college until shortly before we met. From what Sarah told me, their relationship ended because they were drifting apart, and she didn't feel like they were on the same path anymore. She was always open about their history, and I respected that. But here's the thing. Over the past few months, it feels like he's been coming up in conversation more and more, and it's starting to make me feel uneasy. It started subtly. She would mention Matt in passing, like, Matt and I used to go to that restaurant, or, oh, Matt loved that movie. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, they were together for a long time, so it's not strange that he'd come up once in a while. But now, it's almost every day. I can't tell if she's just reminiscing, or if there's something more going on. A few weeks ago, things got worse. We were cleaning out some boxes in our apartment, and we found an old photo album of Sarah's. There were a bunch of pictures of her and Matt, smiling and looking like the perfect couple. She spent way too long going through those photos, and I could tell she was emotional. She even teared up at one point, and when I asked if she was okay, she just shrugged it off and said she was feeling nostalgic. That moment stuck with me. Since then, I've been paying more attention to her behavior, and I've noticed a few other things that are starting to freak me out. She still follows Matt on social media. I don't have an issue with exes being friends, but she likes almost every one of his posts. Recently, I caught her scrolling through his Instagram late at night when she thought I was asleep. She was staring at a picture of him with his new girlfriend, and I could see that sad look on her face again. She still talks to Matt's mom. They were close during their relationship, and I get that. But she still texts his mom regularly, and I found out they met for coffee last week. She didn't tell me about it. I found out because I saw a text from her saying, "It was so good catching up with you." I confronted her, and she said it wasn't a big deal, and that they were just friends. But why keep it a secret? She's been distant lately. Over the past few months, Sarah has been pulling away from me. She's less affectionate, doesn't seem as interested in spending time together, and sometimes I feel like she's barely even present when we're talking. It's like she's in her own world, and I'm not a part of it anymore. The breaking point came last weekend. We were at a party, and one of our mutual friends who went to college with Sarah mentioned something about Matt. He casually said, "Man, you and Matt were such a power couple back in the day." Sarah laughed and said, "Yeah, we were." She didn't correct him or say anything to acknowledge that she's with me now. I felt like I was invisible. That night, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I asked her straight up if she still had feelings for Matt. She got really defensive and said I was being ridiculous, that she's with me, and that I'm the one she loves. But her actions are making me doubt her words. I don't want to be the jealous, insecure boyfriend, but I can't shake this feeling that she's still hung up on him. Now I'm stuck. I love Sarah, and I want to believe that she loves me too. But how do I compete with 5 years of history? I don't want to be the rebound guy who she settles for because things didn't work out with her real love. Am I overreacting? Is this just normal ex stuff, or is there something deeper going on here?